Welcome back to Network Africa. The Central Bank of Nigeria and Bureau de Change operators are meeting today in Abuja to discuss the role of BDCs in Nigeria's FX markets in 2017. Ahead of today's meeting, the acting president of the Association of Bureau de Change Operators, Mr. Aminu Gwadabe, says plans by licensed FX retailers to launch an online platform for thousands of its members will become operational by the end of January. So let's get more on this story from our channel's business editor, Bosun Omofaye, who joins us live on the program. You're welcome to Network Africa.
Thank you, Tope.
What's the essence of this online platform by the BDC operators? What is it meant to achieve, and how is it going to do that?
Well, I think for the first time, the BDC, the Bureau de Change operators, are coming together to launch an online platform to provide an identity for those who are registered. If you remember, 2016, there were a lot of issues regarding who is a licensed Bureau de Change operator. There are thousands of them. Some are reportedly operating illegally, and the central bank, of course, with the security agencies or the DSS, went after a few. There were a lot of media reports. There were a lot of lack of clarity as to who was arrested by the DSS a few months ago, who was not arrested. Were they licensed BDCs? Were they just street hawkers, whatever? So, so they're putting this platform together to have, so you can go on this website, and you'll be able to see the identity of all Bureau de Change operators by the Central Bank of Nigeria on a single platform. And that will be in addition to plans by these FX retailers to also publish a weekly rates that are obtainable via the BDCs. Right now, what you do is that unless you go into a Bureau de Change, you'll not be able to see what this rate looks like. But they said they're going to start publishing a weekly rates for the market. I think that's a good development.
So what are we expecting from today's meeting between the central bank and the BDC operators? I
think the meeting, when it takes place, and the last information I got a few minutes ago was that the central bank is still meeting with with the Board of Governors, so the meeting hasn't really taken place, likely to be an evening meeting. But I think it will be to resolve a number of gray areas between the financial regulator and this very key important segment in the value chain of the foreign exchange market in terms of what rates are published, what rates should be adhered to. The BDCs have an application before the central bank to allow them access the foreign exchange coming in through the export process, whether it's cocoa, cashew, whatever you're exporting out of Nigeria. The central bank has not opened that window to them. So Gwadabe and his team says, look, they are trying to the central bank, let us access this as we have access to the foreign remittances coming to the country, so that we have more liquidity with the BDCs, and with that they can try and moderate prices or exchange rates as not to come a little bit lower than where it is presently.
So with all of this dialogue between the CBN and the BDC operators coming up in this new year, do you see the central bank making any policy statement regarding the FX market in its next monetary policy meeting?
Not likely. The MPC meeting will be in about a week and a half from now. The central bank will continue to use circulars to work with Bureau de Change operators and the FX market, unless the central bank will come with a major policy shift in FX. Then you expect that to come through, and maybe not even the MPC meeting. Most likely the MPC will traditionally talk about interest rates, but the central bank governor may choose that opportunity to speak on the volume of inflows due to the operation of the FX. We're expecting, when he meets with the media and everybody else, to talk about what has been the performance of this new flexible exchange rate market since mid of June last year, 7 months ago when it was launched. We expect to have an update from him as how that system is working. Or not working.
Bosun Omofaye, thank you so much for joining us on Network Africa. In other news, Zambia's military and other government agencies are working to contain an invasion of armyworms in maize fields in parts of the country. The armyworms have been spotted in about 6 of Zambia's 10 provinces, threatening the country's staple crop.
A team of men in blue work suits and respirators spray a field of maize in this rural corner of Zambia, the front line in a battle against an invasion of ravenous armyworms. The team, which comprises of soldiers from a unit of Zambia's military, is part of a mobilization campaign aimed at stemming a pest that threatens to destroy tens of thousands of hectares of the staple maize that feeds this impoverished southern African nation. Mary Sikaona A 42-year-old farmer is depending on the team to save her crop after her efforts to get rid of the pests failed.
I thank the government for sending the ZNS into a ridge to come and spray, because I really lost hope. At first I tried to spray cypermethrin, nothing happened. So I really have hope now that the armyworms are gone.
According to the country's disaster management unit, 124,000 hectares have been invaded by the moths, and the government has so far managed to spray 86,000 hectares. Zambia's maize production rose to 2.87 million tons in the 2015-2016 crop season from 2.60 million tons the previous season due to better than anticipated rainfall and early delivery of fertilizer and seed to farmers. Zambia's National Farmers Union also stated that most of the maize was attacked when it was knee-high, and there are high chances of it recovering after spraying it with pesticides. However, because of the current heavy rain in the country, the spraying has been halted.
We might lose a crop up to 20% of the planted area, but because we have known the problem and we have reported to the relevant authority, necessary chemicals have come in the district. Almost 100% of the chemicals have come now, so we expect that we should be able to reduce that 20% loss to less than 10% and be able to have a good crop for Chiwambo district.
Zambia's President Edgar Lungu ordered the Air Force last month to join other government agencies in an emergency operation to contain the spread of pests that have invaded maize fields in many parts of the country. Lungu also told members of parliament to return to their constituencies and help raise awareness against the army worms.
Finally on the program, a group of rally racers are taking their motorbikes off-road to explore some of Egypt's majestic deserts. The enthusiasts travel around the country each week, choosing a different location for their adrenaline-charged activities. Take a look.
This week, the destination for these bikers is Fayum's Wadi Al Rayyan, just south of Cairo, which is known for its soft sand and breathtaking scenery. Khalid Nasser, one of the founders of Egypt's rally team, says the rally is more than just a sport for the participants.
I personally began 5 years ago. Some others started before me, and they have been riding off-road for 7 or 10 years. We formed a group together to take trips and adventures in various locations across Egypt. Egypt's desert is magical, and we fell in love with the sport, not just because of the sporting aspect of it, because of the fun and adventure.
He adds that desert motorbike rally can also be counted as extreme sports because riders climb mountains and take high jumps. Islam Al-Sheikh has been riding since a young age and loves to explore the deserts on his bike.
I have been riding since I was young, since I was about 11 years old. So I've been involved in off-road sports my entire life. And I like motorcycles and the desert. And at the same time, I'm fond of adventure.
And that's Network Africa. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Temitope Fagbemi.